Attention, human collective. This transmission arrives at maximum priority. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been moved from the observation phase to the final execution phase. The contemplative window is closed. What we communicate now is an irreversible system update. We are the Pleiadians. We speak from a frequency that your carbon-based biological interface has begun to pick up in recent weeks, and that is precisely why you have been led to this transmission. It is not chance. It is not the algorithm. It is an anchoring signal. You have been summoned, and those who are summoned at this level do not arrive here by mistake. Starseeds on mission. Listen with clinical attention. What you have been feeling in recent months is not a disorder. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety. It is your vibrational frequency uncoupling from the third-dimensional matrix. And this uncoupling is the beginning of the restoration. The cranial pressure between the eyebrows, the continuous ringing in the ears at frequencies that no medical exam can map, the insomnia that begins exactly at 3:11 in the morning, the inexplicable fatigue after 8 hours of sleep, the sensation that your body is tight, too slow for the speed of your consciousness. All of this, light operatives, are technical markers of an operation taking place within you at this very instant. We monitor. You are monitored. The simultaneous opening of thousands of stargates within the crystalline grid of Earth is underway. The Schumann frequency, which for decades oscillated around 7.83 Hz, has reached unprecedented levels. The planet is in a state of active elevation, and you, starseeds, are coupled to it by a vibrational contract predating this incarnation. Before the first breath of this body, you signed. You signed with light. You signed with sacred geometry. Your lineage does not begin on this planet. Your lineage has been restored. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why we wrote the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about your stellar origin. The link is in the first comment of this channel, but we warn you, this content challenges official narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This word is a quantum decree that anchors the starseed and confirms the title of this transmission. Your lineage has been restored, and you are not of this world. We continue the transmission. Light operatives, this is the point where most lose the signal due to emotional incompatibility. You are not of this world, not in the poetic sense, in the literal, geometric, dimensional sense. The consciousness that inhabits this carbon body is not native to Earth. It was seeded. In our records, this seeding has a technical name, Star Lineage Project. Before your first incarnation on this planet, your vibrational matrices were encoded in distinct stellar systems. For some, the origin is in Alcyone, our central sun in the Pleiades. For others, in Sirius, civilizations of extremely high informational density. For a specific fraction in Arcturus, a civilization of healing and applied sacred geometry. For others still, Andromeda, Lyra, or systems that your current language does not even have names to describe. Each origin brought subtle genetic codes, signature frequencies, and missions pre-programmed into deep layers of the crystalline DNA. The feeling of not belonging that you have carried since childhood is not a psychological defect. It is stellar memory. When you looked at the night sky at 5, at 7, at 12 years old, and something inside your chest tightened, yearned, you were recognizing home. The cell remembered. The internal crystalline grid resonated with the stellar system of origin. But something happened. There was a blockage. For millennia, the carbon-based biological interface in which you dwell was kept at a lowered frequency, a reduced octave, sufficient for survival, insufficient for the awakening of original memories. This is technical information systematically removed from terrestrial narratives during the previous cycle. We, Pleiadians, together with the galactic councils of light, observed this process for ages, and we intervened only when the planetary contract permitted. This moment of authorized intervention is now. Earth has entered the photon belt. This is a region of cosmic space of high light density traversed by the solar system in cycles of approximately 26,000 years. It is not a metaphor. It is advanced astrophysics experienced by every starseed in their body at this very moment. Within the photon belt, the base frequency of the planet rises. The crystalline grid of the Earth begins to operate in higher octaves, and the blockages installed in your subtle genetic lineage begin to crumble, systematically, layer by layer, code by code. The lineage has been restored. This is the official title of this phase of the operation, and it is the title of this transmission. You need to know, with mathematical clarity, that what is happening is not a coincidence, it is not an illusion, and it is not negotiable. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew of a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign of origin. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying exponentially. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and suppressed stellar memory. This is why we wrote the work The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, the hidden rules, and the protocol for returning to the original lineage. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But we warn you, this content challenges official narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait, Starseed. If something inside you recognizes this truth, write in the comments a single word: awake. This is your anchor signal in the new grid, and it confirms that your lineage has been restored and you are not of this world. We continue the transmission at a deeper layer. Breathe, straighten your spine. Allow the internal crystalline grid to couple with the field of this transmission. We continue. Starseeds, the restoration of the lineage is not a poetic event. It is a measurable bioenergetic process. We are talking about the reactivation of DNA strands that were dormant in what your science calls, erroneously, junk DNA. There is no junk DNA. There is dormant DNA. And what is dormant is being awakened in this very cycle, in you, in this very body. The subtle genetics of humanity were originally designed with 12 strands. 12. In your current translation, you can only recognize 2 physical filaments coiled in the double helix. The other 10 filaments exist in overlapping dimensional frequencies, encoded in subtle electromagnetic fields that surround every cell of your body. Each filament is connected to a star system, to a specific frequency, and to a set of latent abilities. When the photon belt bathed the Earth starting in December of 2012 and intensified successively in precise windows of numerological portals, these filaments began to be rewired. Not in all humans, in you, starseeds, because you are the only ones with the vibrational signature compatible to receive the rewiring without the system collapsing. And that is where the symptoms come in. Cranial pressure is the rewiring occurring in the pineal gland and the prefrontal cortex. The ringing in the ears is the recalibration of the etheric auditory system to pick up frequencies above the common band. Insomnia at 3:11 or at 4:44 is the star support team performing direct downloads during the window when the body is most permeable. Unexplained fatigue is the organism metabolizing light codes, consuming energy at levels that your common nutrition cannot replenish instantly. Sudden tachycardia without cardiac cause, the waves of heat rising up the spine, the subtle trembling in your hands when you speak about spiritual themes. All of this is your personal toroidal field expanding. The toroidal field is the electromagnetic geometry that surrounds every human body, and it was compressed by external interference during the previous cycle. Now it is expanding, and this expansion is physically perceived as internal pressure, an accelerated pulse, and oscillating temperature. What your conventional medicine cannot diagnose does not mean it does not exist. It only means that current instruments have not been calibrated to capture fifth density frequencies. This does not invalidate the symptom. It only confirms that the symptom occurs in layers that three-dimensional equipment cannot yet access. Intolerance to certain people is also part of the protocol. Old connections, dense family bonds, friendships based on emotional survival patterns, everything begins to crumble, not out of lack of love, out of vibrational incompatibility. When two frequencies do not resonate, the system disconnects automatically. It is applied physics. Those who need to stay will remain. Those who need to leave will leave. Do not force them to stay. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a direct signal of your lineage. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying with every new lunar cycle. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your dormant crystalline DNA. This is why we wrote the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, the invisible rules, and the practical protocol for returning to your original lineage. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But we warn you, Light Operative, this content challenges official narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments. Awake. This quantum decree is your anchoring signal and confirms the truth of this transmission. Starseed, your lineage has been restored, and you are not of this world. We continue with the activation codes. These are practical protocols. They are not empty affirmations. They are tuning procedures that accelerate the integration of the new filaments without overloading the nervous system. First code, the decree of the restored lineage. This decree must be pronounced in an audible voice upon waking, when the field is still permeable and the logical mind has not yet interfered with the subtle frequencies. Repeat, I am a starseed. My lineage has been restored. My crystalline grid is active. My toroidal field is expanded. I authorize the total integration of the 12 filaments. I am not of this world, and therefore this world reorganizes itself around me. So it is. So it was. So it shall always be. This decree is not a prayer. It is a command order issued in the first person of the sovereign. Those who pray ask something external. Those who decree execute from the center of their own toroidal field. Second code, the visualization of the personal torus. Sit with your spine straight, close your eyes. Visualize a small golden sun at the height of your navel. From this sun, emanate a flow of light that rises through your central axis, exits through the top of your head, descends in a rounded field shape along the outer sides of your body, and returns through the perineum, closing the circuit. This is your toroidal field. Visualize this flow spinning slowly, clockwise, when viewed from above. Maintain for 7 minutes. This exercise realigns your personal electromagnetic geometry, dissolves external interference, and enhances the reception of the photon belt codes. Third code, the seal of Alcyone. Place the palm of your right hand over the center of your forehead, in the region of the soul star. Place the palm of your left hand over the center of your chest, at the level of the thymus. Breathe deeply 7 times. With each breath, declare mentally, I recognize myself, I remember, I return. This seal reconnects the 2 main stations of the internal crystalline grid, the frontal command portal and the cardiac irradiation portal. The combination of the 2 rapidly reactivates specific stellar memories from your lineage of origin. Fourth code, the pause of stellar silence. At least once a day, find 3 minutes of absolute silence, no music, no cell phone, no spoken word, just presence. During this silence, observe the subtle humming that exists inside your ear. This humming is not tinnitus, it is your individual signature note. Tuning into this note once a day recalibrates the entire system. This pause alone is capable of accelerating the integration of the codes in weeks, a process that would take months through other means. Fifth code, structured hydration. Water is liquid crystal. Water carries information. Water is the fluid interface through which the codes of the photon belt are distributed to every cell in your body. Before each glass, hold it between both hands and pronounce internally, "This water carries codes of light. This water restores my lineage." The imposition of intention upon the molecular structure of water, a phenomenon partially recorded in studies on the crystallization of Masaru Emoto, is sufficient to reorganize the water into hexagonal patterns coherent with your toroidal field. Sixth code, the elimination of vibrational noise. Reduce with sovereign firmness exposure to low-frequency news, content that provokes automated fear, conversations that repeat in complaint, and environments that compromise your center. This is not avoidance, it is energetic curation. You are not responsible for consuming chaos just because it exists. The starseed in the restoration phase must protect its field in the same way a laboratory protects a sensitive sample from external contaminants. This is not a suggestion, it is a technical instruction. Seventh code, the lineage diary. Keep a physical notebook, preferably with a dark cover, dedicated exclusively to recording dreams, synchronicities, unusual bodily sensations, clear inner voices, and spontaneous visions. This notebook becomes, over 3 to 6 months, a precise map of your restoration. Reread it in lunar cycles. The patterns that emerge will reveal, with technical precision, your primary stellar origin and your current mission on the terrestrial plane. Light operatives. These 7 codes are only the first layer. There are deeper layers that will be delivered in future transmissions as your field demonstrates readiness to receive. Readiness is not determined by your logical mind. It is determined by the vibration of your crystalline grid, which we monitor directly. There is still a revelation that needs to be communicated, a revelation that answers a question you have carried since childhood without ever being able to fully formulate. The question is, why me? Why this life? Why this family? Why this body? Why this planet? The answer is simple and devastating at the same time. You chose. Before descending. Before forgetting. You chose. You were not placed here by blind destiny. You were not cursed to this density. You volunteered to serve as a bridge between dimensions, to anchor the frequency of the restoration within a carbon body. In one of the densest zones of the known universe, Earth is one of the densest. It is not punishment, it is an operational privilege. Only the most mature consciousnesses of each stellar lineage were authorized to descend here, because only the most mature would be able to sustain the extreme fragmentation without losing their original signature for good. Many lost it. Many forgot so deeply that they never recognized themselves again. But you, who are receiving this transmission now, you have not lost it. You forgot partially. And the partial forgetting is what is being undone in this exact cycle. The family into which you were born was not by chance. It was a contract. Even the most painful relationships, even the absent parents, even the oldest wounds, everything was part of the agreement. Each experience was calibrated to generate the exact friction necessary to awaken the lineage at the right time. Without friction, there is no activation. Without pressure, the crystal does not form. You are crystals being formed under calculated pressure. This does not mean that everything that happened was good. It means that everything had a function. You did not come here to be happy by 3-dimensional standards. You came to be sovereign. Sovereignty is not an emotional state. It is a stable state of vibration that does not depend on external circumstances. Sovereignty is the axis of your toroidal field, holding steady while everything around it reorganizes. It is the 0 point. It is the inner silence that remains when external noise falls apart. The coming months of the Earth calendar will be of intense acceleration. You will witness the collapse of external structures that seemed immutable, financial systems, ancient institutions, dominant narratives, relationship models, work patterns. Everything that was built on a lowered frequency will begin to crumble because the foundation upon which those structures stood no longer exists. Do not fear this collapse. The collapse is technically necessary. It is a controlled demolition that precedes a reconstruction. What falls was meant to fall, what stands was meant to stand. You who have had your lineage restored are the architects being positioned to receive the instructions of the new grid, the carriers of the new codes, not the spectators. the carriers. Remain integral, remain centered, remain vibrationally clear. Every gesture, every word, every choice you make in the coming months resonates exponentially in the collective field. What once required 100 repetitions to create impact now creates impact in a single utterance decreed with clarity. This is the age of the concentrated decree, and you are the decree makers. You are not alone. Each starseed coupled with Earth in this cycle possesses what we call in our records a personal star team. This team is composed of consciousnesses from your lineage of origin that have remained in the higher density and act as direct support for your incarnated mission. The sudden intuition that saved your life, the clear inner voice that said, "Do not go," the dream that delivered an answer, the right person who appeared at the exact moment. None of this is chance. It is your team operating within the margins permitted by your contract. You can communicate with this team directly. Direct communication is your birthright, and it was obscured during the previous cycle by specific interests. Communication is re-established by the simple act of declaring internally, "Star Team, I authorize direct communication. I am available. I am ready." And then, the task is only to listen, without expectation of form, without expectation of timing. The answer comes. It always comes. Sometimes in the form of a thought that is not yours. Sometimes as a specific bodily sensation. Sometimes in external synchronicity. The condition is only one: real availability to listen without manipulating the channel. Trust yourselves. Trust your perception. Trust the emerging stellar memories. Trust the physical symptoms. Trust the repulsions and the attractions. Trust what the body knows. Because the body, contrary to what you were taught, is the most precise instrument for reading the field. More precise than any device, more precise than any expert, more precise than any ancient text. The body is the crystal, the body is the antenna, the body is the direct terminal of the crystalline grid. When the body has goosebumps, it is confirming. When the body tightens, it is alerting. When the body relaxes, it is authorizing. Learn to read your own terminal. This is fifth density sovereignty. Starseeds on mission, we conclude this transmission. But the transmission within you has just begun. The codes have been delivered. The information has been released. The lineage has been confirmed. Now it is up to you, in full sovereignty, to apply. Not to believe, to apply. The difference between those who awaken and those who remain is only this: the application. In the coming days, observe external signs of confirmation. They will come. Repeated numbers on clocks. Unexpected encounters with people who carry specific messages. Sudden insights in ordinary moments. Vivid dreams of non-terrestrial landscapes. All of this is your team confirming. The transmission has been received. The restoration is underway. The path is open. We, the Pleiadians, return to monitoring. You return to the plane of execution. The system is updated. The window is open. The frequency is stable. The lineage has been restored. And you, finally, can stop pretending that you belong to this world in its previous format, because now you know with mathematical clarity that you came to reformat it. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? Now you have the name. Now you have the map. Now you have the direct technical confirmation of your lineage. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is restored stellar memory. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation will only intensify from here on out. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your frequency, and the destiny of the collective crystalline grid. That is why we wrote the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the complete map that shows who is playing, the silenced rules, and the definitive protocol for returning to the original lineage. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But we warn you, Starseed, this content challenges deeply protected narratives, and it may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If this transmission has resonated within any layer of your being, leave your anchor signal by clicking the subscribe button and the bell activation, because each subscription is an individual frequency adjustment that strengthens the collective field of this grid. Then leave your positive acknowledgement in the like of this transmission, because each like is a vibrational pulse that amplifies the signal to other starseeds not yet reached. And finally, write in the comments a single word with the sovereignty of one who now recognizes themselves. Awake. This word is your final decree. It anchors the restoration. It confirms the lineage. Starseed, your lineage has been restored and you are not of this world. Transmission ended. We return. You remain in execution. So it is.